like Rob hit record tonight.
I did. Hey.
Yeah.
Quarters of a year.
So that is welcome to episode 39.
39. Almost 40.
We're almost Ashley's age. Oops, I didn't say that.
You know, guys, it would no longer be considered infant death syndrome if the show were to die at this point. That's
Ashley may have just killed him. So, welcome. Like I said, episode 39. Nick, you didn't open your palate cleanser.
Man, I gotta snap this signature move here.
I'm kind of floundering here, kind of like your lunch.
Well, why flounder when you can puppy drum?
All right.
Oh.
That was good. That was a good comeback, though.
Oh, what's the joke we got?
I did chill it, so this is not catch and release, so I may be poaching.
So that's from Riceville Beach Brewery there, Puppy Drum. Their Puppy Drum Ale.
Yeah.
Pale ale.
It's pale. It's very pale in color. It's got a little bit of a caramel color. I tell you what, that caramel tone comes through. A lot of people got used to one of the original pale ales, English style pale ales, Bass Ale. Oh, I love the play on words here. Puppy Drum. Why mess with a bass when you can pull the local catch?
So we got that in last week. We've sold it well. It's been well.
It's drinking really good. I just wanted to let you guys know we had it and it's good.
All right. I'm drinking the beat of Mardi Gras. Since Mardi Gras was last week, why not drink it this week?
The Mardi Bach.
Mardi Gras Bach. That's correct.
I like the dude on the label. Like, he looks like he could party. Is it Bacchus or?
I don't know. That's good beer.
I don't know, maybe.
I think it's Bacchus.
Yeah, Bacchus. Sexy Canoe for me, which is what I didn't get into yesterday.
With that leopard print, it looks like you've been in a sexy canoe all weekend.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
we were
want
gonna
my
have.
shape or form.
So
I did not know Charlie Sheen was going to be here tonight.
yes.
No, sorry, my hair is like a little bit too flat and normal.
You know what? I just realized it's probably causing a lot of sound issues. We have a fan on still. So.
Hey, Kenny Chesney, can you turn it down a little bit?
Yeah, we might have to turn that down too.
We got not live music in the corner.
Yeah, we're not paying for that. Blah, 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 we're not paying for that. No, you can't hear it. No. So anyway, we are getting ready to start our tasting tonight. Since Josh is away from the table, would it be okay to taste yours?
I'm wondering what he has IPA?
Yeah.
Do you guys want sweets before bitters?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, guess what, guys? It's peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time!
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Yeah, I like it.
And
guys, they literally called it from Catawba Brewery, peanut butter jelly time. This is a raspberry brown ale. It's listed. I'm curious to see what the peanut factor in here is.
Are you allergic to peanuts?
Absolutely. I hope I fucking die. Brewed with whole peanuts.
Oh my gosh.
This could very well be a demonstration on our local EMTs and their abilities too, sir.
Yeah, if you know an EMT, get them on the line. This could go bad.
Oh Lord.
Oh, look at the peanut butter just pouring out.
Are you allergic to raspberries?
Yeah, it's going to be a double duty
Oh my
here.
God.
Thistleberries. No. Luckily, raspberries is one of my favorites, guys. I do like the raspberry brown from Lost Coast. So if this can get up to what we taste with the raspberry brown, number one color, is that a brown ale?
I suppose if you didn't upchuck after your mixture
we'll
of honey
see.
mustard and blue cheese.
Yeah, if I could make it through a honey mustard blue cheese
I think
dressing
that's
on
the thing with this
chips.
beer that they don't actually use peanuts in it.
Well, it says ale brewed with raspberries and whole peanuts.
Well,
New recipe.
yep, that was a completely false.
Because last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was grapes.
5.7%, guys. This comes in a 16-ounce tall boy. Label is just hilarious. This is the mightiest peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly on the
I
nose.
got this feeling it's going heavy on the jelly, man.
That
It's just
smells like my school lunch and
so one side jelly.
My school was in high school.
Woo! Sound effects for y'all. I just threw that right in the
I
microwave.
had peanut butter jelly every day for high school. That's why I'm so smart.
So you couldn't afford lunch, huh?
In college, I moved to Nutella.
That is nutty. That is peanut butter. That is whole peanuts. It smells like boiled peanuts, guys.
Okay, so jumping right in, it's a different recipe from last year.
Yeah, that's
Last year was definitely The grape jelly.
And
This
it
year's-
tastes like boiled peanut broth.
This year is definitely raspberry with peanuts.
Do you get the raspberry?
I do.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the whole fruit though, not just like raspberry juice, but
Yeah.
like the whole fruit thing.
There's a lot more peanut this time
Like
around.
whole
I feel
peanut.
like.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
shells. I'm getting like the Spanish peanuts have the red shells.
It's crunchy butter. It's not creamy.
Okay, yeah, it's crunchy Jeff here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of peanut butter.
See,
Now,
you like raspberries.
I'm a peanut butter sensitive person, and I love raspberries. I'm getting a lot of whole roasted peanut here. Not even just peanut butter, but like
Yeah.
Josh said, very chunky whole peanut.
And I agree with you as far as like the shell. I can taste that dryness, that salt.
Yeah, and even that middle shell, that membrane,
And I've eaten a lot of peanut.
the skin, the peanut skin.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Look, I worked at a produce stand.
you
I'm
know what?
allergic to peanuts, and I would eat boiled peanuts right out
That's
the
what
top.
I was just going to say. When I eat boiled peanuts, it's shell and all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
I'll chew the shell. A lot of times I spit the shell, but to me it's very much like that broth. And this is not a bad thing. This is a celebrated taste down here.
That's true. This is a beer made in North Carolina.
Catawba, Morgantown.
So we're talking about boiled peanuts as a
It is nutty.
South,
You know,
southern thing.
I do get a little subtle taste of white bread in there too.
Do you really?
I'm with Josh. There's
Just
so the
a
first thing
little
that
bit,
hits is the peanut butter.
Kinda, the white bread's in the middle of the palate. The finish is all peanut.
Guys, I don't get to like eat peanut butter. I'm like pretty stoked just to have this flavor.
So here's my thing though. Josh made this comment earlier. We were talking about it in the beer and wine room while you were working.
I'm glad you guys noticed.
We were talking about the can change, the art change.
I
from
don't
last
remember
year.
the old label. Yeah.
So last year was a white label,
Okay.
and it was white and brown and purple.
Yeah.
It was obviously the grapes for grape jelly. And then we noticed that they changed to raspberries this year. I like this a lot, but at the same time, I kind of miss the grapes
It's
versus the
not.
raspberry.
It's not the peanut butter jelly time I remember, which I really, really loved it. Those
I mean,
first couple.
don't get me
years.
wrong. I'm still getting a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It is peanut butter and raspberry jelly though versus the grape jelly.
Yeah, and I didn't go to a
Oh,
nice
that's
enough
grape
school.
jelly.
I didn't go to a nice enough school for them to actually offer raspberry jelly.
Well, and so there's another thing with
Normally
anybody
it was
who
that-
likes raspberry jelly knows do not buy the seeded jelly. Like that is one
Yeah.
jelly you have to get the seedless jelly.
yeah, but normally when I went to school, it was that crappy apple jelly that was on there. You couldn't even tell there was
See, I took
jelly
my
on
own
it.
peanut butter and jellies from home.
No, yeah. See, when I ate them, I got them from the cafeteria.
My mom,
Yeah, when I forgot my
mom
lunch,
made,
I'd
my
be
mom
like,
made
oh,
me
it's
peanut
too
butter
poor.
jelly and a nutter butter, a little Debbie nutter
Because
butter.
they'd ask for your lunch card.
You're
and
just
they're
all
like,
kinds of nutty.
Oh,
with
I was
school
lunch.
lunch.
all about it.
when
You
they
know-
ask for your lunch card, it's like, I don't have one. It's like, all right, well, here's a jelly and peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, that's what they did at our lunchroom too. And it was the stalest bread. I swear to God, they were like giving you
It was like a
prison
mark
food.
of shame almost. It's
Like
yeah.
that was the proverbial on shingles in elementary school. Oh, I don't have.
SOS.
And you couldn't get chocolate milk that day. You had to drink the white milk, even though it's like the same price.
What's worse is if it was pizza day and now you're eating a peanut butter and jelly
And
sandwich.
like, how the hell?
And
do you
everybody else
walk-
has got those nice square pieces of pizza.
Oh, with the crumbled sausage.
Mhm.
Ah, just tastes
Yeah.
like caraway.
Yeah.
Oh man. But how are
I
you
miss
supposed
those.
to wash down a PB and J
That
with
was probably
with
one
white
of
milk?
the
Cafeteria
memories.
pizza?
Yeah.
Like, am I right? Chocolate milk with PB
We
and
got we
J.
gotta get Chrissy to make us cafeteria pizza.
We should have that one day.
Oh, I know she's got a good recipe, but she's got to. Oh, memories.
I mean, altogether, I think it's a cool taste. Try it out. Share it with your friends. I guess we're having a whole like reminiscing moment here. It's taking us back, and so it's doing its job.
Yeah,
it really
I think it
is.
is. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's
I didn't expect more than a conversation piece out of this beer. The beer itself, it's decent beer, decent ale. A brown might be a stretch. It's a brown caramel ale.
I think again that this is also probably the first year they called it brown ale. I don't remember it being brown ale last year.
I think it might have been called brown. I think it was darker.
This is not particularly sweet, guys. I'm not getting like sweetness. I'm getting like the brininess peanuts,
It's
the
more-
thistle of raspberry. It's definitely unseeded jelly. You know,
There's a
or
little
seeded
bit of the malt sweetness there, but most of it is like the fruity from the raspberry. So it's not. It's like lime. It's not necessarily sweet, but it's fruity.
Okay.
I get the fruit after the peanut butter. I
In
will
my
say.
humble opinion, I am a Joe.
I did like it though, and I like the fact that it brought up conversations.
I think-
it kind of made us reminisce. I like that.
That's what I got out of it. That was my biggest thing is we enjoyed our time drinking it. And so, really, what does a beer come down to?
Yeah.
It's
So
a conversation piece, and you enjoy drinking it.
Portland, Oregon, for the person that may or may not ever hear this, please open a food truck that sells cafeteria pizza.
I'm
All
very much. I tell you what, I got Ashland Food Park. You probably see it there before you'd see it at.
Oh my god.
Do you know what Asheville Food Park is? They have the
So-
cell.
I'm telling you, I'm going to ask Chrissy next time she works.
They have a
So,
cell tower.
so
at a
one of
bar.
our baristas, Chrissy, she and I'm going to tag her when I post this on Facebook so she watches it and let her know. who
And
we
she's
are.
on Facebook. Definitely check her out, guys.
She used to be a little lunch lady, and oh, God love her. I want her to make cafeteria pizza for us.
I would love to
I
see
just
her
wanna
peanut
taste
butter
it again, you know?
smear. I want to see some rectangle cut pizza.
But I want it like that big, like the slice.
Yeah.
Like it used to come, just one
Yeah.
big slice that you couldn't even hold right.
Listen, I'm still gonna work you. I'm gonna bring in fruit snacks that day.
Oh!
I'm gonna trade shark bites for your piece of pizza.
But I also want some of the little stewed apples. You know.
And I know you know the way you grew up was all apples. So the best you could afford was Mott's fruit bites. I'm gonna hit you with the junk food. Gosh,
No, the Welch's, man, like the
Oh,
Welch's.
okay,
little-
Welch's, yeah.
Let's get moving on.
you went
to-
grapes over apples on fruit snacks.
Oh yeah, always.
Let's get on to Josh's here.
Okay, so the next one up is the Wild Beer Company Evolver IPA. We're going completely 180 from raspberry brown ale to a beer 100% fermented with Brettanomyces. So super wild yeast, hops plus Brett plus hops is what they say on this. I'm pretty sure I have had this.
So they dry up after fermentation.
Yeah, so it's hoppy, it's fermented with Brett, and once we crack this open and start tasting it, I'll dive into my love affair with Brett. Hand me a glass real quick, because it's doing a Brett thing.
Start far away, work towards yourself. Oh,
Well,
technical
start-
foul.
Yeah, no, I'll start with Rob.
I do get the jelly on the end of that. I do want to say it's peanut butter with jelly.
Okay, so while I'm pouring...
You guys ever go to make your peanut butter with jelly
Let's clean it
and
up.
you realize like the jelly's gone?
So,
Then it's only peanut butter.
Brett,
No, worse than that is.
What do you put on it,
do-
bananas?
Going to do pancakes and realizing the peanut butter's gone.
Hey, now Mrs. Gerard used to do that, but she would give me on the day she made the chocolate chip or the banana pancakes.
Who's Mrs. Gerard?
Oh, it's my best friend's mom.
Okay.
My mom could not bake.
I thought you were going to tell us
Mrs.
it was
Gerard
your-
knew everything
your-
about baking.
your-
Cookies, zucchini bread, pancakes.
housekeeper. Your
No, she was more or less
ooh,
my mom part two, because mom worked and had after school activities, so we'd all go
I'm sure you
to
swirl it around
Gerard's
to
house,
cover up that peanut.
play hockey in the basement, eat cookies. Her kids didn't like her cookies.
Oh,
I liked them.
Alright, so...
you're not.
Listen, let me
No,
finish
dude.
my story and then we'll try something new. So, Josh, the name again is Wild Beer Company.
Yes, and this is the Evolver IPA. So this is an IPA fermented 100% with Brettanomyces. Brettanomyces is a very specific kind of yeast. It is what they call the wild yeast, the crazy. 95% of the time, this is contamination when it ends up in a beer. But you can ferment it solely with it. Nick and I have made
So,
it
you
all
said
Brett beer.
contamination. That sounded dangerous, but I'd like to clear this up that when Brett brews, there are no
No,
dangerous
it's
byproducts.
not
There's
dangerous at
no-
all. It's just there are a lot of off flavors that if Brett shows up in a beer. So Saccharomyces cerevisiae
Hmm?
is the yeast, is the brewer's yeast that you use for beer. Brettanomyces.
Did you guys catch the cerevisiae? That's Latin for beer.
So Brettanomyces is a wild strain of yeast. If it shows up in the beer and you
Awesome.
only want
You
one,
like that?
it's bad.
Awesome.
The other advantage
I've
of
been
Brett.
begging for anise and clove and IPAs.
Brett is super funky. It smells like
Almost
feet.
caraway
and it also it can ferment sugars that regular yeast can't ferment.
It
And
can
make
break
beer
down
bone
the,
dry.
the tight bond
It can.
and
It
the
can.
disaccharides, right?
Brettanomyces can ferment lactose. Saccharomyces can't.
Yeah.
So you can end up with a bone dry beer. This is funky. It smells like feet.
Those disaccharides are held. Those disaccharides are held with a tight bond, which is something more than just the H bond. It's actually molecular bonding, and Brettanomyces has a way to actually chew into that. When we do that, do we get a different version of alcohol produced?
No, it's a standard kind of alcohol. It's always ethyl alcohol.
And it's the ribose chain of the ethyl alcohol construction.
The advantage of fermenting a beer with Brett is, like I said, you end up with a bone dry beer. And this beer is bone dry.
So there's no sugars sticking to our alcohol.
I mean, there may be some residual in here, but Brett is the short name for it. It doesn't stop working. It's
How do you stop it?
Potassium metabisulfite will kill anything.
So if you Brett a bottle, there's no stopping it. If you Brett a batch, when you bottle,
You know how you
do
stop
the
Brett?
potassium
It runs
sulfate.
out of sugar. And then it doesn't have anything to eat, and then it'll eventually die off. And when you have like a Brett bottled beer, I mean, it will ferment in your cellar until it's bone dry, like no sugar left, and then the yeast will slowly die.
You and I made a Brett a couple years back. I
Mhm.
still have one in a cask jug.
I love Brettanomyces just for the crazy esters and smells and flavors.
So, I'm not fond of the smell of this.
No,
And
I don't think anyone is going
And
to smell
I'll,
this.
I'll tell you, you kind of
Yeah.
said a little bit, smells like sock. This actually smells like one of my socks that have gotten a big hole in the heel, and I've worn it all day long and mixed the heel with the inside of the shoe.
Like parts of the sole are coming
Yeah,
out.
A little bit of fabric, a little bit of plastic, a little bit of rubber.
and so
There's like wet neoprene rubbed in with your cotton.
yeah, it's kind of like your farts. You're the only one that enjoys them.
My
Yeah.
farts. Everybody loves
Well,
my
you
farts.
always like your own brand. We all know that.
What, you guys don't like that?
But I'm not digging the smell of that. Now
I was sharing those on purpose.
now the taste, there's something strangely appealing.
It has it. Brettanomyces, like in wine, everyone always talks about barnyard this, barnyard that, these crazy farmy flavors. Brettanomyces was
So you're complaining about the smell, but this smell tells me it's like it's warning my palate, like you're about to get that thing you've been looking for.
this
It's-
literally tastes like the smell of a petting zoo.
It's completely different from any other IPA. I've
They
had.
didn't use
Yeah.
honey. I didn't hear you mention honey, but
There's
one
no
of the
honey.
ways I would describe the taste of this is wild honey.
To me, this tastes like the smell of a petting zoo, and in the best way possible, which is hard to explain. But there's a lot of wild funk it tastes like nature.
Yeah, but not like funk that's gonna start breeding itself if you don't clean it up.
No.
Funk like, man, something cool was here.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes like the general ambient smells that you run across in like life almost. You know, it's a wild yeast. It's everywhere. This stuff's in the air. You breathe it in and you breathe it out.
I guess part of also what I'm trying to understand when you say wild, just not just like wild out there in nature, but wild like it's hard to pinpoint. This thing's going in so many different directions. It doesn't
Yeah.
just like take the edge of the circle in one direction. It's going around the star all the way.
Yeah, well, a lot of the yeast that brewers use are carefully lab cultivated. This is the exact opposite. You can cultivate Brett in the lab. There's no need to. It's literally everywhere.
Well, Brett kind of cultivates itself. If you follow what you said, the best Brett will be the last Brett alive around sugar, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so if you harvest that part, if you wait, harvest, and then feed that.
So, naming this Evolver was, according to how they brew it, was kind of a no-brainer. So they said after the first 3 months, the beer tastes just like any other IPA. After 6 months,
I feel like we may have an aged version, or we're starting to get into the aging.
after 6 months, the Brett really takes hold.
We may
The
not be
Brett
to
yeast
really
is particularly
take
good at keeping hop flavors fresh for far longer than traditional brewing yeast. The Evolver takes on a more complex character over time as the yeast and the hops combine to produce a new and exciting beer that will continue to evolve as the yeast slowly matures the beer. This is a beer that can be drunk fresh, as a normal pale ale should be, or left to evolve and mature into a unique and unusual beer.
Which is exactly what I feel like we're coming into right now.
Here's the thing.
I think they shelved it before they gave
I
it
said
to us.
this is the first. This is like no other IPA I've ever had. I think this is one that has been aging for a little while. I'm not opposed to it. I think it's definitely unique.
The nice thing about it is because you end up with such a dry malt backbone that you really get the hop profile coming through.
Here's the thing. I mean, I do get the hop profile, yeah, but I don't get the bitter.
Oh yeah, no. This is I'd say there's a heavy dry hopping on this, which is not a lot of the times when you dry hop or you add hops later in the boil, it can get overwhelmed by like the massive amount of malts that you need to make the booze for these double IPAs and stuff. And this one is like less sugar going in. It's all fermented. This is not a sweet beer at all. I can barely taste it.
One of the things I like when I'm a big fan of sours. So what is it? The farmhouse sour uses a lot of Brett.
Brett will show up in the farmhouse because they use a lot of ambient yeast. So there's a little bit of Brett, but it's not 100% Brett.
Yeah.
It's like you got the other stuff in there too.
And I'm very, very happy with the farmhouse, the Oberon's.
You know, I think doing exclusive Brett versus doing a secondary fermentation with Brett, I think you net some different results.
There is a very specific flavor profile you get 100% Brett, which you like Nick said, we brewed a beer at 100% Brett, and I'm tasting a lot of the same flavors in this that we did with our homebrew.
I mean, we thought, in some ways, we thought we messed up, and it's like the more Bretts we've tried, we like counter finding we really hit what we were doing.
Yeah, we should have really saved a few more of those bottles.
We got it. I think one of the things that Josh has talked about, and this is something to think about if you grab one of these evolvers and you're a home brewer, just like the guys used to do with the old Sierra Nevadas and a few other beers, is potentially you've got a culture that you can start developing for your own beer. Josh and I talked about what's one of the best ways to feed collected bottle yeast. The answer is basically more beer.
Oh yeah.
Start with beer, slowly add some sugar, literally just table sugar and water, and you'll keep that culture alive. At that point, I'd recommend transferring from a bottle or whatever to like a mason jar or something. That way you can see your culture.
I think if
But be very careful with this stuff.
there's enough live active yeast left in this because there's still sugar in there. I think if you took a bottle of this beer, dumped it in a 2-liter clean sanitized bottle,
you could like rebrew
and then fill one bottle of this up with like a cup of sugar, and fill it up with hot water, shake it up until it's mixed up, dump it into the beer you poured out, you could create a yeast starter.
I wish they would have told us when this was brewed.
I would like to see a stamping because the changing of the quality leads me to believe when am I shelved, how much storage time.
And will the ABV increase in the bottle?
Yes.
Well, so
yes.
It could, yeah, because anytime you're consuming sugars and you're producing alcohol, that's one of the questions I asked
listed
Josh.
as 5.8, but it could be 6.
I think it's over 5.8 because of how when I cracked it open, you guys saw how it was starting to kind of.
ABVs are based on alcohol by volume at the time of bottling.
This contains wheat.
Nice. No one's died yet.
All right. And it's in an 11.2.
Yeah,
Where's
it looked
Wild
like a
Beer
European
coming
bottle. I thought it was
So they have a
Scotland.
Facebook page, so we'll be able to link them to the.
Oh, United Kingdom, aka yes, so the 11.2.
So we'll be able to link. We'll be able to link them.
That's
maybe
like,
we'll get some feedback from them.
I thoroughly. This is a
California
really
beer.
cool beer. If you guys haven't had Brett beer, you should do it.
I'm a fan of that.
The price point on this is a little high.
It's an import.
$7.25 coming from England. Big thing to remember, it's an all Brett beer, which is not a cheap beer.
I'm gonna tell you too. $7.25 is actually a lower price. We did get it on special, so I passed that along.
Oh yeah, no. So it's on special. It really, so for the size of the bottle, you may be turned away by looking at the price tag.
So it is on special. Okay, that leads me
What
to
it
believe they may
is-
have shelved it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
For what it is and like the quality of the beer, it's really nice.
All right, so we're gonna
So
move
that
on
gets
to
into a funny thing. We got it on special while it's in its character changing, which means
Yeah.
we're actually getting a better beer at a lower price. So
Mhm.
think about that, guys. Just if you wanted to check, I have trouble keeping a 725 bottle on my shelf.
yeah.
And
Being
if-
able to buy that and it's already a cellared beer, that's a pretty cool
Oh
opportunity.
yeah, and if you want to piss off every of your brewer friends that you know, crack one of these open back in the brew house.
Yeah. Are you brewing? Is that open top brewing? Cool. What are you drinking? This is a Brett. Hey Josh, what's your palate cleanser again?
The Sexy Canoe from Tarboro Brewing Company.
And mine was the Abita.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay, so now it's time for me.
Yay!
Yeah, don't forget about Rob, guys.
All right, so wine tonight. We are not doing wine.
Mmm.
Yay!
But I still want it. In
They're
the
not
wine
going to
glass.
feed me 3 poisons in the same night.
we are going to do it in a wine glass, though. So I have been. This has been one of the sours that I've been looking forward to having since we've been open. I just felt comfortable this past month or so, thinking that we can start moving into some of the higher.
It's been a journey to get there, Rob.
Yeah, this is one of the higher end sours. This is from Wicked Weed. This is, believe it or not, this is actually the lower of the higher end stuff. This is the Black Angel. This is a bourbon barrel aged American sour ale fermented with cherries. Just so you know, it has 1.5 pounds per gallon of tart Montmorency cherries. Nearly
See,
10
it's
months.
not hard to say.
Montmorency.
It's not easy to say.
Montmorency. Nearly 10 months of bourbon barrel aging and artful blending reveal a dark, complex, and enrapturing sour ale. I am a huge fan. I've said it before. I'm a huge fan of sours. This is, like I said, it's not cheap. It's $18.75 for this bottle. That's why I picked it as a wine. It's 500 milliliter. That's why I picked it as wine, just because of the price. But you know what I didn't? What I didn't count on? It has a cork.
Don't worry,
like a
I
bottle of
got
wine.
you. I got you.
Wicked Weed for the.
Don't worry, guys. You're hanging out with a bartender.
So this is from Funkatorium. This is one of the beers that Wicked Weed originally got known for before they started making all the.
So they have a whole
IPAs.
series
They
of
do.
Funkatorium, and they're all bottled similarly. And they're
Yeah.
basically, I would look at them as a different tier quality from their normal shelf beer. Things that come
Man,
in
just
can.
smell the nose coming out of that.
Even the small, the bon pair, the things sours
Yeah.
we've had. Funkatorium's that similar series, but these ones that come in these 500s are this is a special series.
So,
Oh wow.
This is beer that's bottled like wine.
so the
basically.
hilarious thing is, so we just had 100% Brett
Oh, yeah.
here. This it's not 100% Brett, but probably has some Brett in it.
I feel like we've been tiptoeing our way into something like this. Like we had a crazy brown with some flavors, then we had the crazy Brett IPA. Now we're gonna like take those two things and smash them together and see what
That
happens.
is a beautiful.
Am I correct in saying that they typically oak age these?
No, this
Bourbon
is
barrel
Yeah,
aged.
this is bourbon barrel. Oh man, that is just a gorgeous color right there. Brown with like the red copper kind of tones to it.
So, the other thing about this, it is not like a double, triple, or whatever ABV. This is 6.8, so it's mid-road. But it
There's a
is.
secret to that. Acetobacter.
I didn't understand it.
Now, acetobacter creates acetic acid by digesting alcohol.
Acetobacter.
So this actually probably could just as easily
Is
been
that like how you get
been
acid?
drunk in one of these.
Acetic acid.
And it might have, the curves on it might have been better versus the wine glass.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
So,
Actually,
yeah.
I think the wine glass might actually do it a little bit.
No,
more
I think the
justice.
tulip shape is actually going to benefit the nose, based on what Josh was just talking about, the acetic acid.
So-
It's a wine type smell.
Yeah.
Treat this like a wine, but it's beer. I mean, it's got these tones on the nose that remind me of red wines, like
You can
Spanish reds.
smell. You can smell like the ripe, like almost sour cherries on the nose.
Yeah, you can definitely get the cherries on the nose. Like
Yes.
I'm saying, this comes off like the Spanish red on the nose.
That, and then it also smells Belgian, like just the Belgian like funk.
Yeah.
I am pleased with that palate when I first hit it. It is. Josh talked about the sweetness on the palate, but I was really expecting way more funk and way more sour, and it just hits with this perfect balance. A milieu.
So remember how we were last week, the Orchard Wit from Brewery.
Yeah. Okay.
And remember how we all liked that and it had the balsamic and it had
This has that,
this definitely has the balsamic. I think it has a little bit more balsamic.
but it's tied in with things. It doesn't leave you with balsamic.
No, you're right, and it's picking up the sweetness of the bourbon barrel, and so
I-
forth.
Really like the delicate application of the bourbon barrel in this. It's just enough to show up, but it's not overpowering like bourbon barrels tend to be.
So we
It's
talk
like
about
just enough.
we
bourbon.
talk about tastes, right? We talk about tastes before we talk about flavors. Flavors is a way to isolate and describe taste. Tastes in this part. This is an amazing beer because this is crossing over some of the like major categories that don't usually go together. So we have sweet, we have sour,
Yep.
and we have bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really getting in the big three of beverage.
Yeah, this like I said, this is one that
I mean, beyond that, we'd have to go to salty and edamame. Like,
yeah, and believe it or not, I've really wanted to start getting into these since we've opened.
I think so. I think we're the type of bottle shop where people would want to come look for these. These would be top shelf items for us. And as we develop a reputation for having top shelf beer, we can support it. But like you said, it's a journey to get there.
Yep.
To moving from 275 cans to 1875 bottles, that's a tough spot. But if we could share, if we could get people to really see this feeling that you are sharing with us right now, that the three of us are sitting and drinking a beer as if it were a bottle of wine.
Yeah, yeah, and here's the other thing too. I mean, yeah, you're not gonna go out and buy a 6-pack and drink a 6-pack and
Yeah, this would be a challenge on the gut and the palate.
but I think this is in this form and fashion. 3 of us splitting this. I mean, it actually poured between the 3 of us
Perfect.
a full glass of wine that we poured here. It came up just to the line where we pour for wine. So the 3 of us are enjoying basically a glass of wine for this 1875 bottle.
Which is, I mean, yeah, this is absolutely delicious. I mean, I have no other way to
And
describe
if
it.
Yeah,
you like,
when the girls pick up a Lola, guys.
yeah, if you like sours at all as far as beers go,
The artwork is intriguing. I really dig these labels. There's just a whole darkness to it, but an illumination through the darkness.
I love the astringency, like the little bit of
Thank you.
astringency
Yeah.
that I get from the oak barrel.
Yeah, it's
You
coming
know,
through on the
just that
nose.
little bit of like
It,
going on.
the nose, right into the first elements of the first sip. Very much like a Spanish red.
Yeah.
You just get so much of that, like a Rioja or something.
yeah, no, I'm glad we picked this up. This is going to be one of those that, and it,
You know,
it's
they
not one
say
that,
funkatory, but this does not smell like a pile of garbage or something.
No.
You know, it doesn't have that overly.
No, I can taste. I feel like there's a little bit of Brett in here because there's a little bit of funk in the back end, but it's not like the 100% Brett we just had.
Yeah, so that
that's why I was actually glad you picked that when you asked me if we could do that price bottle. I
That
knew
last-
exactly what you were asking for. I
that
was like,
beer
no,
is
let's do
bottle
that.
aged.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think is going to be a good combo.
That's bottle aged. This is barrel aged, then bottle.
Yeah, but it's probably bottle conditioned too, just from like the texture that's going on.
So the only thing I think would make this tasting better is if you would pick like the fresh pressed or something that came in.
Oh yeah.
And we
Yeah,
just
I
could have
looked
gone
at
through the
that.
whole. We could have gone through the whole journey.
It was like, which allergies do I want
Yeah.
today? Yeah. Black carrot juice. That's, That'll kill me faster than peanuts.
But yeah, this is. I mean, the color. I just love the color.
Oh, yeah.
I love everything about.
See, it's got the color of a stout.
It's tough to tell.
But not as a. It's more like a.
Rob, we would
porter.
have to know more. It's tough to tell from the labeling to really see the bottling process from the barrel, from how they're doing that. It's tough to understand.
Well,
I'd like to.
What
know
makes
more.
me think it is bottle conditioned is the fact there's a cork underneath the cap.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would push the cork,
I would be.
and it wasn't a champagne cork.
No, it was a very.
It's a straight cork.
Yeah.
They got their own corks. It's badass.
I would be very interested to hear from Jeremy, who is our Wicked Weed rep.
Mr. Nor.
If he could answer any of the questions we had on this.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this is delicious. I love most of the Funkatorium offerings. I say most because, as with any brewery, there's always a couple that I just can't get behind. But that is kind of how palates work.
So last year on them we had the
We did the pear.
pear and the cherry, and this is their
We did
small
them in the
bottle.
small bottle.
Yeah, and this is their small bottle offering. They have a peach this year, so we'll definitely be trying those when they come out.
Do you know if they're doing the Montmoretto this year?
Probably we can get on there.
That's a cool one done with amaretto.
I want to see Malice. I think you should grab Malice.
Malice is good.
I know it's been out there and it's one of those, but that could also be part of the anchor of our show. I don't know where they market those. And feel free to speak up,
that's,
chat board, and tell me. Oh yeah, there's
6.8
other places to find this. but
5.2.
out of 5. That was a rough one right there. But
I don't think the bottle shops down here are really working the top end Wicked Weed stuff too.
No, you have to go into Wilmington. There's a few in Wilmington that have some of it.
I love the new labels on the Funkatorium stuff, though. By the way, like it. Looks,
Yeah, the artwork is
They
very
stepped
Yeah,
up
no,
the
that
silver
was-
band.
that
They have nice texture. Oh, the whole thing is.
yeah.
The shape of the bottle is completely unique too. It's like an old elixir.
I'd like to
it-
bottle in that.
It looks like something that you like sell snake oil with.
However, anything you bottle in a Brett bottle is gonna be a Brett beer.
Mhm.
So if you want to make a Brett beer with your out of your normal batch, buy one of these.
Heads up, home
And
brewers,
put
if you
your-
buy this, don't try and use those for bottling because the rim of the cap is wider than the bottle caps you bought.
It's a bigger cap. Josh and I found this out. They're difficult.
Huh. Interesting.
There is a cap you can buy, and yes, your normal capper will support it, but you have to buy the bigger cap.
If you have a corker, you can cork it, but if you cork it, wax seal it.
You know, there's some quirks to the corking.
Quirks to quirk. So why don't we go ahead and review? Because
Can we start a review with the Black Angel? I know it's so
Let's go backwards this time.
you want
I
it?
mean,
Yeah, since
I
we
got
did
this
something
in my
different
glass.
and didn't do
It's
one.
tasting
Let's,
good. I feel
let's
like
go backwards.
This is
So,
the one I want to talk
Black
about.
Angel. For me, this was, like I said, originally one of the OGs. One of the ones that I wanted to bring in way back when. Third anniversary last week, so hey, guess what I ordered? I ordered another present for us. It didn't let me down. I'm so glad this is in. I'm so glad to try to talk people into trying it because it is really a solid sour ale. I'm giving this 3 thumbs up out of 2. I really enjoy this.
I'm
I
really enjoying this beer. I was not from the get, one of those like big sour fans. I'm really happy to see sours get beyond just the Goza range, just beyond these like burst series and fruit filled. I wanted them to get back to what sours are really about. This is closer to that original idea that like those Flemish reds were bouncing with. It's amazing to see what Brett does in terms of finishing a beer. The finish on this beer, the bubbles are just ever present, just showing up, showing up, showing up. It's always fizzy. I love this. Everything about this beer, from the invite that the nose gives you to what the palate gives you to how the palate finishes to how the texture of the beer is, every part of it is pleasing. Even if it's not your favorite flavors, it's going to take you on a journey that is meaningful and value driven. It comes out at 1875, but every sip is worth it.
The one other thing to add, the nose on this, as it gets warmer to me, the funk is opening up a little bit.
Oh,
Absolutely.
So you gave it what?
That's a
full
thumbs up. Yeah.
Full
Sweet.
thumb out of the thumb.
I got it. I got a stiff thumb up on
So
that.
I've got to say, for me personally, with this one, absolutely three out of 2. I'm gonna have to go with Rob on this one. This is really good. One of my favorite things about it is the fact that it's a perfect blend between the old school sour flavors, that balsamic showing up. You've got that funk, you've got the complexity, and the bottle conditioning just yields that kind of smooth velvety texture with the carbonation versus the aggressive forced carbs that you see in a lot of stuff. It's just a really well-made beer. It's the blend of the old and the new. It's right there in the middle of the line. Are there better sours somewhere? Probably, but are there better sours in my hand right now? Absolutely not.
It's got fruit. It's got funk. It's got sour. It's got Brett.
It's got everything. It's got
barrel.
everything I could possibly want in a glass right now in front of me. So it is absolutely amazing.
It's dark beer that
Wicked
doesn't
weed.
taste dark.
High five. Love your Funkatorium stuff.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so moving on to the Evolver, Josh. You want to start us off on that one?
Evolver, 100% Brett IPA. I'm gonna go ahead and give them thumb and a half.
Yeah.
Mainly because it is 100% Brett IPA.
Yeah.
IPAs really cool. Brett beers really cool. Brett IPAs can be really cool. I feel like if I let it age a little bit longer, I'd probably like it more.
Squeeze it. Bring it out.
But what I really do appreciate about this beer, why I'm giving it a thumb and a half, they did a really good job with the hop profile for the Brett. Oh, yes. But they did a really good job with the hop profile of the Brett. The hops come through. You get that characteristic super carbonation. It's super funky. Super funky. And I also have a natural bias towards Brett beer, which I'm trying to avoid. That's why I can't give it 2, because I know I have that natural bias.
I'll touch on that bias. And I follow Josh on this. It's very close to a perfect thumbs up, but if I'm giving Wicked Weed the thumbs up, I gotta take Evolver just back a little bit. This is a brewer's paradise. If you brew beer and you've been tired of all the IPAs out there, come try this beer. This is something different. Look how they did this. Pick up some pointers. I'm with a comment Josh said earlier, and I think this would change everything about my view on this. Is if this is a beer that changes character based on age, give us a born on day. Tell us when you bottled this.
That was
rough.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'd love to see that, because then, as someone who's paying whatever price for this beer, I feel like I can not only just enjoy this beer, but get into the study and the school of it. Both these beers have, if there ever was beer intelligence going into brewing, like both these are there. You have to have your numbers right, otherwise you're exploding bottles with Brett. Like, I mean,
They're crossing boundaries. It's like winemaking and beer making at the same time with this kind of stuff. Right?
yeah, I'm very pleased. I think Evolver. I like the wild beer painted logo. It didn't quite tell us what all you were doing. I don't know. Something on there could have just really hit. Maybe it is just the simple, just give me a date stamp if you're doing cellar aging, and we're getting a beer that's already cellar
There's
aged.
nothing on the bottom.
Prove
It
like show
should
me
be
the
on
proof.
there somewhere in Julian dating, which
Yeah.
I didn't see anything at all.
Yeah, we think it's something that would help us.
Yeah,
it's
so-
so close. It's like an 11:30. It's like the doomsday thumbs, almost all the way.
5
to
minutes
12.
to
Yeah,
midnight.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm the exact same thing. I really like this beer. Like I said, it was so different from any other IPA, and I know that that's because it's aged in the bottle, and it has changed and it has evolved. The name is perfect for it. I think if they would have given us a bottling date in the slightest, so we can
Year.
compare.
Yeah.
we just say, all right, what's next year's going to look like? And then kind of, you have a lot of beers these days that are meant to be cellared.
We were doing the Combs, the Polish,
and they are putting their dates on there. So going forward, if just
run it
stamp on
through
it.
HR and see what
It's
they do.
not
All
alright.
right.
Yeah, that would be great, just so for comparison purposes. I mean, how are we going to know this one versus next year's versus last year's versus So
Until you open it, you don't.
or we mark them ourselves when they come when we get them.
Yeah, that's
Which
fine.
which we might get this a year late.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna need a raise.
It might-
We're
it
doing
might-
that.
It might be on the case when it shows up, is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. Which gets into a whole other thing is your distributor doing original pack of the ad.
No, God, that's
So-
a rabbit hole.
For me, I'm going to give it. What'd you give it? 1.5?
I got it one and a half.
I'm going to go with Josh on that. 1.5.
Yeah.
I think outstanding
Evolver's
beer.
got room to evolve.
Outstanding beer, great choice there. Don't mind the price at all because if you look at it, a lot of your higher end sours are obviously getting a little pricey. There's time and
Ingredients.
involved to improve these qualities that you just need to have. So they're going to get a little bit more pricey.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like I
1.5
said,
for
once
me.
you put the beer in the barrel, where do you put the barrel?
Yeah.
You know, somebody's saying
So,
that.
Let's move on to peanut butter jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly time. You know, it's not in the class of the beers we were talking about, but it's still something tasty and conversation worthy. And it's a pint can for $4,
Is that
guys.
you moving? Yeah. Okay.
So you really can't beat that. That's anytime I can grab a pint can for less than the price of a poured pint in my favorite beer store. Okay, I'm cool. I'm pouring my own pint. I'm my own bartender. On that note, if you're gonna play bartender with your friends and you want a conversation piece, peanut butter jelly time is gonna do it. Open up with this. You know, it's not overly sweet, so those people who are afraid of these flavored beers because they're it's cloyingly sweet. This is not a sweet flavored beer. This is a beer that gets into the nature of what is peanuts, what is raspberries, and how do they make a peanut butter and jelly. Josh is right. You get a little breadiness right down to the white bread. You know, is it Clover Valley or is it Wonder Bread? I don't know. I'll let you decide.
Sunbeam, bro.
Sunday.
Don't sue us.
It's no martinis potato bread. I'll tell you that.
So what's your rating on it?
It's like, for me, it's like a sideways thumb. It could get turned up. I think if that peanut butter really got into like some creamy peanut butter, and I'm hearing what you guys are saying. I don't remember last year's. I'd like to maybe compare how does the raspberry jelly do versus the grape, and what's up with the expression of fruit. I feel like the fruit, the jelly portion was very muted. I was looking forward to a little more fruit. I got that with the cherries and the next beer, but I didn't get it with this.
So for me, right on the top of the can it says nutty, sweet, nostalgic. What did it make us do? It made us talk about lunch in elementary school, middle school, and high school. This, like Nick said, is not in the same class of beers as those. These guys have year plus involved in making them.
This was like a hot thought one night.
Yeah.
But what's going to surprise you is I'm going to give this a thumb and a half.
It doesn't surprise me.
The reason I'm giving it is because of what it evoked from us.
Yeah.
We had it. We knew going in, peanut butter jelly time. Josh did the song. Nick did the song. I'm surprised Nick didn't have the banana suit on.
My Facebook hits would have been off the charts.
So it was a fun beer to drink.
Yeah.
Complexity versus of these two, no. But for what it is, it's a really good beer. It is a fun beer. It evokes memories. It is one that you're going to talk about while you're drinking with your friends.
I don't know what I want next, a milk stout or a rectangle pizza.
That's right. This is one I would take 3 to a party and say, here, let's drink this together.
Everybody, yeah.
And then see where the conversation goes. Because that's definitely a conversation starter. So, thumb and a half for me. And $4, I think Nick might have touched on it, $4 for a 16 ounce.
Do you think it would go good with peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Probably.
Might actually,
I
yeah.
bet it'd go better with the square pizza.
PB&J time. I'm actually going to agree with Rob on this one. Thumb and a half. Excellently well made. Recipe's definitely, it feels different this year. Maybe it's not different. We're just crazy. But it definitely feels different. It's still really good. It tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It literally tastes like sections of my childhood memories.
Yeah.
And that is something that very few beers can evoke out of me.
Yeah, beers seldom go back to your childhood.
I want rectangle pizza. Like, right now.
Chrissy!
So, just for that sheer fact, it's a damn good brown ale. It tastes good. It's delicious. I mean, it's well made. There's no doubt about it. Thumb and a half. Excellent job. And can you please do a cafeteria pizza beer?
Yeah, cafeteria pizza beer. That's awesome.
That's my personal challenge to you.
It's like a Peroni that tastes like pizza.
All right. So, guys, that was episode 39 of What Are You Drinking Now here at the office.
Like, comment, subscribe below if you're watching us on YouTube, please.
Or just ascribe to our lifestyle. If you dig what we're doing, go ahead and try it.
If you want, please follow us on Twitter. Nick has been updating throughout the show the beers we've been drinking.
Yeah.
So he's been keeping up with that.
Chat,
you can watch it live and chat with us while we're recording. But like I said, this was episode 39. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Adios, America.